What I want to talk to you about the single biggest advantage that any law firm can have in their market. This isn't just exclusive to law firms, this is for all businesses. It doesn't matter if you're a restaurant or if you're an accountant or if you're a law firm, you're still a business owner, and this concept is going to be one of the most important things that you can think about. And that concept is, whoever is willing and able to spend the most money to acquire a client will always win. That's very important because the only way that you can make that happen is to structure the economics of your business in a way to allow that to happen. For a long time, I've actually talked about the two most important numbers in your business, and you guys have probably heard me talk about this. CTA, who knows what CTA stands for? Cost to acquire, okay. And then there's ACV, average case value, right? And then the farther apart these are, that's your profit, right? The goal is not to get this number as cheap as possible. It's not to say, how can I get clients cheaper? How can I get clients cheaper? How can I get clients cheaper? The goal is, how can I increase how much money I make off of each client? If you can make more money on a client, then you can spend more money on a client. The average divorce lawyers can bring in about $15,000. I always say I want to be at least 5 to 1, right? So if you're 5 to 1, what does that mean you can spend to get a client if you're 5 to 1? $3,000, right? What if you could turn this $15,000 into a $45,000? What's 5 to 1 now? $9,000, okay. Mark, if you can make $45,000 and your competitor on average makes $15,000 and you can spend $9,000 to get a client and your competitor can only spend $3,000 to get a client, who do you think's gonna win? You're gonna win every single time, right? That's why guys like John Morgan are just dominant. It's because they can spend so much money because they're essentially dollar cost averaging, because when you look at all the cases that they have, they can outspend everybody. They can afford to spend more money. This is like when Ethan was talking yesterday. When Walmart comes in or Google comes in or Apple comes in or Amazon comes in and they have a law firm, they can afford to spend more money per client. And that's why they win. If you can focus on asking the question, how can I structure my business? How can I structure my law firm so that the economics are such that I can spend as much money as possible to get a client, then you will win every single time. This is like the most important question that you really can ask yourself. And it's a question that never stops. This is a question that Bill and I have our weekly meeting. We're always asking this question. What else can we do that we can increase the average that we make on a client so that we can afford to spend more to get more clients? What's interesting is that we really kind of learned about this or kind of had this like revelation last year. We were at a Grant Cardone event, and some people like Grant Cardone, some people don't like Grant Cardone, but the reality is you can't deny the popularity and the business strategy that Grant Cardone uses. Who knows what Grant Cardone sells? Does anyone know what Grant Cardone sells? I heard real estate. What else? Anything else? Sales training. Okay. What Grant Cardone actually sells is attention. So Grant Cardone gets up on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and all these different places. And what he's doing, he's capturing attention. Because, and I talked about this before, I talked about how there's 3 types of traffic. There's traffic that you control, there's traffic that you don't control, and then there's traffic that you own. And the goal is to turn all the traffic that you control is like Facebook ads, Google ads, things like that. And you're trying to take that and the traffic that you don't control, which actually SEO would be traffic you don't control, meaning you can't really determine if Google's gonna rank you number 1. And like referrals also, you can kind of influence referrals, but you can't control the referrals. But the goal is to take the traffic that you control and the traffic that you don't control and convert it into traffic that you own. And traffic that you own is where you actually have the email address, the phone number, the physical address, all that type of stuff. And when you have that, you can then adopt this model that we learned at the Grant Cardone conference. And I want to show you how Grant Cardone does it, and then I want to show you how we use it for our business. And then I want you guys to kind of do a little bit of brainstorming about how you can take this same model and use it for your business, because this is the answer to the question, how can I afford to spend more to get a client? Grant Cardone, basically, what he does is he runs videos and does everything, and he gets attention. He just gets people to know who he is. He has his ideal client, right? It's typically probably like a man in like their late 20s to early 50s maybe, right? So he says, okay, what is my avatar typically interested in? You know, they're probably interested in sales. So he has the sales university, right? And then he says, well, let's see, what What else do they like? Okay, how about real estate? They all want to invest in real estate, right? So then he does real estate. And then he says, okay, so they're into sales, they're into real estate. Oh, I know, they're also into supplements. They're into supplements too. So he does 10X Health. And then he says, okay, so, they see me pitching from stage and selling stuff. I bet you they would want to learn how to pitch and sell from stage. So then he has a thing where he teaches you how to pitch. And he's like, they all probably have like wives and girlfriends and things like that. So then he puts his wife for sale and basically whatever her name is, doesn't put her for sale, but then she creates something. It's so funny. I was in his office and his salespeople were trying to sell me something to send my wife to this thing where they go listen to Grant Cardone's wife talk about something. And if anyone knows my wife, that ain't happening. But then he does like leadership and like all kinds of stuff, right? Here's the thing. It all stems from right here. It all stems because he understands who his avatar is. He understands who his ideal client is. And then he says, okay, what else? What else? What else? So he pays right here one time. He runs an ad or he runs a video or you see him on Facebook somehow. And then you get on his email list and they get your phone number and his salespeople call you and they do all that type of stuff. And then he says, okay, what else can I sell them? Now the thing is that he only pays right here. That's the only time he pays. Everything else in his world, he understands that now he has a customer and he's gonna sell that customer more products and more products and more products. Bill and I saw this last year when we were at a Grant Cardone event. There was all of these vendors set up in the back of the room. At first I was like, oh, that's interesting. He sold spots at his event. That's kind of interesting. And then I realized they were all his companies, which was crazy. I was like, wow, that's pretty insane. So it got us thinking, like, how can we do the same thing for our business? Again, so our audience is lawyers, but really what we have is we have the attention of lawyers because we have 50,000 members on or 50,000 or 60,000 lawyers on our email list. We got lawyers. So originally, I sold website and SEO. So I sold website and SEO. That's one product that I could sell. And then eventually I realized, these lawyers don't really know how to market themselves. They probably could use some marketing training. So I sold marketing coaching. And then I said, how about management coaching? Then we did management coaching. And then PPC. And then intake, video production, master circle. What's coming next for us? Fractional CFO, lead gen. So we're looking at potentially selling leads. Hiring. We get lawyers asking us all the time, can you just hire for it? Because we teach you how to hire, but we don't actually do it. So we're thinking like, well, what if we had recruiting and we did all that stuff, right? These are all ways that we can use our business model to make it so that we can increase our average client value, right? And when we can increase our average client value, then we can spend more to get a client.